This presentation by our former chair and revered mentor, Professor C.N. Lee, is a jewel of life wisdom and a key to a transformational career with happiness and peace along the way. Professor C.N. Lee is a champion of his craft, a prominent teacher and cardiothoracic surgeon with vast contributions to the field over a period of 40 years in Asia and across the globe. In his active years in surgery, he transformed the university surgical cluster and our lives and careers. Let me introduce you to Professor Chuen Leng Lee.
Good morning. I was thinking of doing this talk because recently I noticed there's some discord amongst some of our staff, and it's time to remind people that life is bigger than just personal scribbles. So I would like to start this with a reminder that if you ask people like Dalai Lama, what is the purpose of life? He will tell you the purpose of life is to seek happiness. But what you do is up to you. Of course, everybody is different. So if you talk to people like Epictetus, who is the Stoic philosopher, he said life is up to you. So this is basically a travel photo show with a message. And the message is that we seek happiness in life, but with common sense. So my basic philosophy in life is basically based on gumption and fortitude. So everybody will have different take on what is the basic principle of life. So it's a very simple principle. We aim very, very high, work very, very hard, but have low expectation or no expectation. So you expect that people will stab you in the back, say bad things about you. It's fine, you're expecting that. If the luggage doesn't arrive, the flight is delayed, it's fine because you're expecting nothing. Then you'll be always happy. So that is the basic principle for this talk. So this is based on basically elements of two things, the Stoics and the Taoists. I have no religion, so I don't have to offend anybody. So in life, there are many paths, many doors to open. Let me down the music, too loud. Music is too loud. I can do it on that. So we choose our own path, but do it with common sense and do it with consideration for the bigger goal. If you look at the two schools, Seneca is a representative of the Stoic schools, and it says that it's not the man who has nothing or little that is poor, but it's the man who expects perfection. So if you expect everything to be perfect, you're going to be unhappy, miserable throughout your life. Also, if you talk to Lao Tzu, it says that a good traveler do not need to arrive. So if our aim throughout life is to reach nirvana, reach heaven, or reach hell, we will be unhappy. So we enjoy the journey while we can. Don't always focus only at the arrival point. So enjoy life while we can and take in everything in nature, in friendship with people. And I would urge everybody to break free of convention. Sometimes we are too bound by convention that our life becomes full of angst, miserable, and unhappiness. Second thing is that throughout life, you have to stay inquisitive. I see some of my friends retire, not curious at all on everything. Then they become aged, they become cynical, and they become negative. So no matter how old you are, do stay curious, stay inquisitive, and find new things to do. And then you will be able to stay young longer. So we have to explore life. Different places, different friends, different things to do. And we cannot live our life, but what could happen? You say, oh, you don't go to Syria because you're going to die there. But I went there and I didn't die, so it's okay. So don't let your life be guided by fear of things that might happen. Take some risk. At the most, you die. So you win some, you lose some. A long ago, I brought this guy Teo Kofidis to climb Kilimanjaro. I see whether he dies or not. If he dies, too bad. If he didn't die, I might take him to the university. So he survived, so we took him in. So you have to have some spirit of adventure in life, in everything you do. If you do colorectal surgery, doesn't mean that you have to do that only the whole life. Explore something else. And also, don't wait. You say, oh, my baby is still young. I want to wait until we go to university before I travel. I have a career that is like this. So don't wait. The world is not going to wait for you. So be active, seek out stuff to do. Make your life more varied, and exposure is different. So we do discover the world. You have to see the world, see and be amazed, and see and be instructed. If you stay only in NUH, go to the theater every day and then go home, I think your life experience would be limited. So there's a famous American philosopher called George Santayana. He says that the difficult is that can be done immediately. The impossible will take a bit longer. So we ought to aim very high, but we're going to fall down. If you fall down and don't get up, you fail. If you fall down, you get up, there's nothing, just carry on. So expect nothing. So like this one, we went with Philip Yao and Michael Hartman. We went through quite difficult terrains and difficult organization. But this is just something that's difficult, can be done immediately. And also it's important to ignore people who think they are important. So I want to have tea with the perm sec of Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Say I'm going to this trip. Next day he wrote a letter to the university president and to the dean. He says, no, don't let this guy go, because it's too dangerous, too difficult, it should be abandoned. So of course, he's somebody who thinks it's important and that should be ignored. So the greatest mistake you can make in life is the fear that you make one mistake. If you keep worrying about making mistakes, you will never go anywhere. You're just going to be a small little guy in the corner. So again, back to the Stoics and the Taoist people. If you come to a crossroad in life, which is going to be many times, sometimes every day, you're going to come to a crossroad. Remember two things. Necessity teaches fortitude. You need fortitude in life to do well. If you're very fragile, sensitive, after a while you become jaded. And also, Lao Tzu said that tranquility is the master of agitation. When it comes to being agitated, people irritate you during what round, whatever. Stay tranquil. But you need to be intrepid. Try everything in the world. If you see the camel's head hanging in the marketplace, that means they are selling camel's meat and camel's milk, which is quite good. Go and check it out. So don't be too timid. So if you find rats in the marketplace in Laos, check it out. At least take a bite, not the whole rat maybe. But it's, if you see ants on the coconut and rice, at least give a taste. In life also, if it's something that's unusual, something that you are not used to, do explore it at least. If you don't like it, it's fine, but check it out. And I see many of my friends who look at life with cynicism and resentment. So they are not happy every day. This one PAP government, forget it. So if you look at life with wonder and awe, everything, wow, is so beautiful, then your life philosophy changes, and you're happy most of the time. So you have to do a bad thing. You want to be happy most of the time, you'll be unhappy most of the time. And this is a simple philosophy. Look at life with wonder and awe. So we find beauty in everything. Every bird that you see, every spider, roadside flowers, they are all something that will inspire you to be a happier person. So the tiger is in Ranthambore National Park. I would highly suggest you go and visit. It's just right in front of you. Ranthambore National Park in India, near Jaipur. They have a beautiful 6-star hotel there. Just go and stay there. You won't regret it. So you can see walruses. If you want to see the bone in the penis of the walrus, come to my office. So we work in a big group, in a hospital, in a university, in a department. And everybody in the group will be different naturally. So there will be inevitably some conflict, some disagreement in the group. So think before you speak. Think of the group as a whole, the harmony in the group, how it's going to affect the patients, our students, the teaching. So if you are unhappy with something, keep quiet first. Think before you say it. And you want to say something, say in private, not in front of the group. Take him aside, you bash others up, that's fine. But don't affect the harmony of the group as a whole. So I learned that if I keep my mouth shut, I make a lot more friends. And if you want really to take a revenge, remember that only the weak people take revenge. The strong people actually forgive. But the smart guy, like me, I ignore most of the things. I know people say bad things about me in accusation. Just ignore. I mean, at the end of the day, what's the big picture? So if there's a disagreement, there's insults, the Stoics has a philosophy, a formula. First of all, is the guy who is doing the insult correct? If he's correct, nothing to say. He's right, you are wrong. So change your way, reflect, and move on. But if it's wrong, then it's a fake news. So then we need to settle this fake news, but in a comfortable, very nice, polite manner. Sort out the differences, but not confrontational. But if he insists, ignore him. It's not worth the trouble. And finally, why do we get people achieve the aim of upsetting us? If you are driving, somebody cut in front of you. He's trying to arouse you. So if you are Zen, you look at the big picture, let him go, it's okay. We don't fight with all little small people in the world. Look at this bunch of penguins. If they are harmonious, they swim as a group, it's very nice. If there's some irritation, some agitation, everybody jump in a different direction, and the group will be broken up. So make as many friends as we can. So in my travels, I make some strange friends. Roberto Escobar, who's a brother of Pablo Escobar. I went to his house for tea. Very nice old guy. And then Fidel Castro's son also have tea with me in Havana. We have an interesting conversation. And when we Vitali, you know this guy Vitali? The guy in the beard is the bishop of the Russian Orthodox Church. He was our host in after Siberia. And then when I was traveling through Anatolia, I got this guy who kept passing me his Beretta 9mm. I think he's some sort of mafia, but I don't know. And of course, the president of Mongolia and stuff. And then if you see a guy with AK-47, be nice to him. And in life, don't wait too long. You don't wait until you have a certain phase of life, if there's money to travel. Just go. Because the world is not going to wait for you. Time will take its toll. One day you're in a wheelchair, you have cancer, heart attack, whatever. So do take the opportunity to meet people, to travel, to find a new phase of career. There's a Japanese word called ichigo ichi. Each time is only one occurrence. So if you go to Tanzania again, you're not going to find this all the time. So that is one time only. You drive along Highway 1, you go to Big Sur, you're going to find this one time only. So treasure each moment. Next Saturday, if you come here, same people, you will not the same atmosphere. So treasure every moment. And this one is perpetual because it's a proboscis monkey in Sabah. He's got like 50 ladies to look after. So it's ready all the time, but each time about 5 seconds. So try to go down the Kinabatangan River in Sabah. Fantastic trip, just float down the river in the boat. And nothing is static. I went to Asim to this lake that was created after the earthquake. The river was blocked. And then people go across the river, the lake with just 8 stones. So things move along. So the ice in the Antarctic will melt, ice in the Andes, glaciers will melt. So don't expect the world to stay still for you. So don't believe in all this risk talk about dangerous helicopter travel in Siberia. It's okay. I went to this helicopter, no problem. But when I came back next month, this one crashed. So when the time is not due, it's not due. It's okay. So low expectation. So this famous philosopher who was in the pond somewhere in New England, he says that the mass of men live life of quiet desperation. You're just trying to survive every day. But we here, we are really lucky. We have a comfortable life, we have a roof over our head, we don't worry too much about living. So appreciate our blessing. Don't grumble all the time, say, oh, I don't have $1 million income every month. It's not necessary. So important thing is that don't worry about other people's opinion of you. We don't live our life by what other people say of us. So you look foolish, be foolish, that's fine, don't worry. How do you explain Wu Wei? Basically, do nothing. But that's a very superficial reading of the philosophy. If you look much deeper, the philosophy basically says that you need to have inner peace during the times of extreme turbulence outside you. You're doing a surgery, everything went wrong, bleeding, stars, everything. Stay peaceful inside. So go with the flow. And don't fuss over small things. People say bad things about you, your children didn't do well in school, PSLE is this way. Don't worry about that. It's small things in the context of the bigger picture. So if you try to have an equivalent in the English language, I would suggest maybe laissez-faire, savoir-faire, sang-froid means no blood, no angry, not angry in the thinking, and have harmony with the friends, with the world, with nature, and you'll be happy most of the time. So don't get too stuck up in the small little things. So be ignorant or appear ignorant so that people think people underestimate you, which is good. So if you have your friends and your colleagues think that you are really not a very bright guy, it's nice, everything goes well. So don't try to show off too much. And don't try to be too selfish, self-centered, and self-aggrandizing. So you can go anywhere. I should have bought that shoe from Sudan, but the wife prevented me from buying it. If I do a what wrong with that shoe, I think it'll be quite impressive. And also, if you are hot in a Gobi Desert, just take sand water and bathe. You don't need to have all the 5-star hotel, Capella, and all that. You just go with the flow. So have a joy in life. And there's a guy called Charles Saatchi who wrote a book. And the most interesting word in that book is retire at the crematorium. So when you already reached the crematorium, you're going to be burnt out, then you can retire. So if you have no more job to do something else. There's charity, there's all kind of organization, there's a church, the temple you can go to. But don't ever stay at home and watch television. I will come visit you when you're demented. So expand horizon beyond surgery. Don't just confine yourself to the department of surgery. Go beyond. Do some charity on autism, in refugee, whatever. Do some work. And this is basically a frog that's in a well. Knows only the well. So you talk to this frog, you get bored because you don't nothing except the well. So expand horizon until you become a much more interesting person to talk. So read about Hafiz, read about whatever you like to read. So you have a much broader worldview. So if you can get out of the well and don't be confined, you become a much more interesting person. Your perspective in life will be quite different. So you look at life through rose-tinted glasses. So if you are a bit rose-tinted, a bit romantic, a bit whatever, you will be having a better life than very analytical, cruel, cold view of life. Don't be too cynical. Then if you do that, I think you have no regrets. So remember, low expectation, be humble, and be nice. Thank you.